what exactly is a major sin?
Major sins are those actions and deeds which have been forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran and which have been prohibited by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his sunnah, in the authentic hadith, and which has also been clarified by the first generation of people around the Prophet, that the Sahabas. So if it is prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's called as a major sin. And it is mentioned in a Saheeh Hadith of Mustadrak al-Hakim, volume number 2, in the book of Tafsir, Hadith number 3419, the beloved Prophet Muhammad said that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited, you have to abstain from it. And whatever He has permitted, you can indulge in that. And in things which Allah is silent, that's a concession for you. So take the concession of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never forgets. And the messenger recited the verse of the Quran of Surah Maryam, chapter number 19, verse number 64, which says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never forgets. And it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 4, hadith number 2766, that the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said that, do you know which are the 7 destructive sins? The Prophet said that they are, number 1, associating partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or associating in worship anyone else besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, practicing sorcery, that's black magic. Number 3, taking the life of a person who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made sacred, unless for a just cause. And he further goes and says that eating riba, interest and usury, eating the orphan's property unlawfully, unjustly. Then he continues and says that showing your back to the enemy, fleeing away from the battlefield. And the 7th one, that slandering chaste women who are just believers. So these are the 7 obnoxious sins mentioned by beloved Prophet ﷺ. But when Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, was asked, it's mentioned in the commentary of At-Tabari, volume number 4, hadith number 9207, that Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, was asked that are major sins 7? Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, reply, 70 is a closer number than to 7. So these 7 sins mentioned by the beloved Prophet, they are just giving outlines of which categories of sins are. That doesn't mean there are 7 sins. There are many more. It gives the outline that sins related to shirk, sins which have had penalty, whether it be fornication, whether it be practicing black magic, whether it be theft. He is giving a sample. But according to Ibn Abbas, he says that 70 were the major sins.